Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video we have created some of the URL and also we have mapping it, and then we have created the template folder, and that is our base HTML. Into the base HTML area we have added one of the CDN, that means the Bootstrap CDN, and also that is our title, and also I have created that navbar, that is our menu, as a home, and also I have created another block as a body block. So now we can actually extended our this base HTML to our different page. And also in our app blog area I have created one of the page as a blog list. So now here I want to design it. First of all, here what exactly you have to do, you have to extend, right? So we have to extend our which page, we have to extend our base HTML, right? Because of into the base HTML, all that our CSS and the JSS on here. So also here that is our title will be needed. So better for the title I have also created another one as a blog, and blog as a for the title I name it as a title, and then we have to finish it. That means we have to end this block, that means the end block, and here I name it as a home, right? So I just name it as a home. So that will be our home. That means our all that blog post list will be visible in our particular this home area. So here I want to load our this page, okay? And then also our another block, I want to do our another block. So our another block in our base HTML, I declared that block name as a body block. So now I want to access our this body block, and then also we have to finish it. So that will be as an end block. Perfect. And here I want to put one of the h1 tag. I just name it as a I am a blog list home page. Okay, so this type of one of the text, it should be visible. So now I want to load our this page, that means this blog list page, right? So if you want to load it, what exactly you have to do, you have to in our blog, that means in our app blog, that is our view. So we have to create our one of the view page. So here that is actually a render is already added on particular that position in by default. So I just created one of the function. I just named that function as a blog underscore list. So friend, if you already well understand my fundamental section, then I think it should be very much easy to you, right? Everything should be very much relative to you. So here it should be pass one of the request, right? And then what exactly we have to do, I just with this return with this render method, they have the two parameters actually passed. One is the request, and also it's pass another file location. So right now I want to get our this file location from our this app blog into the app blog, that is our blog list.html, right? So I just simply added as a blog app blog, and from to the app blog I want to get our blog and list.html. So that will be our file. And also here if you want to pass your diction data, you can also pass it with the constant. So better here I take as a contest. Okay, with this contest I just simply pass our dictionary data, that means diction data. Okay, so I hope everything is very much clear to you. So now we have to create our this URL, right? That means in our app blog, and that is our URL. So from here, that is our blog, I have already included that our views. So into the URL pattern area I want to create one of the path. So I just name that path, that will be as a path, and this path will be our home. Okay, this path will be our home, and here I name it in our views, and into the views area I have created one of the function. So right now that is our views, I have created one of the function name as a blog list. So now I just simply name it as a blog list, and then I put one of the name for this path. Name will be, so I just name that same as a blog list. Okay, blog underscore list. So that will be our path name. And also you can set one of the app name for a specific this URL. I show you, then everything will be more clear to you. Like here I name it as a app underscore name, and our app name will be, I just name as our folder name as a app underscore block. Okay, so whatever you want. So right now I just put that as a relevant with our this app block name, so that is our app name. So if you want to access our this URL, then you can actually access it with our this app name as a app block. Okay friend, I hope it's very much clear to you. So now here I want to do one things, like here that is our index. So that is our index URL base HTML. We don't need this. I just simply remove it. That will be needed, and here I just right now remove it. So here I have created our URL. So here I have created as URL as our home path, and that is our blog list, right? So that will be our home. That means if you go to our URL, and here you can see that is our blog. That means automatically first of all it should be add as a blog, and then it should be add our this name. That means this list, right? So here I want to do when any user, that means when any user want to access our this path, that means this home directory. So that is our home directory, right? And into the home directory, into the views area, I have loaded one of the method, that is the index method, and I just name it as the index. That means it should be redirected to our views and to the index. So that means that is in our project views. If you go to views, and that is our index method, right? Into the index method, before we just simply pass the return HTTP response. So here I want to actually load our this page. That means I want to load our this blog list page. So how can actually display it? So display it here, I show you, everything will be very much clear to you. Like first of all, for doing this we have to add two of this class. One will be as a HTTP response redirect. So that is from Django, and then they have the shortcuts. From to the shortcuts you have to input as the HTTP response redirect. Okay, from to the HTTP response redirect, and also you have to add input another one as a reverse. So from, that is in our Django, and then the URLs from here you have to input as a reverse. Okay, reverse. So as I told you, here I want to load our this page. Here I want to load our this blog list page, right? So into the blog list page here, that is already, there is a method. Into the method area, if you go to that view, that means that is our app blog view. Here you can say render our specific this page. So now I want to actually take our this function. So I want to take this function in particular, that area. So right now we don't need this. I want to return with our HTTP response redirect. With this HTTP response redirect, here we have to with the reverse we can actually pass it. So here we have to pass it our which URL. Here we have to pass it. If you go to our this app blog and this URL, here I name that app name as a blog. That means the app blog. So with this app blog we can actually access our this path. So right now if you want to use it, first of all here you have to add it. So that is in our view, that is actually the view. Here reverse. So here you have to pass as a app blog, and with this app blog I want to access our which method. I want to access our this blog list method. Okay, so that is our blog list method. So now I want to access it on here. I hope it's very much clear to you friends. So that is actually index method area. I just simply return HTTP response redirect with a reverse app blog into the blog list. That means it should be redirected to our app blog URL. That means this app blog URL, it should be redirected to our this blog list method. So that means if you go to that view and to the blog list, so into the view blog list, automatically it should be loaded our this page. That means our blog list.html page, right? So now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, and first of all I want to check our server. So our server is now perfectly running. So right now we don't need this. I just simply close it. I only want to take our server is running. And now if you refresh it, yes, you can see friend, it's now perfectly working. So I recap it again for you, then it will be better. I just close everything. Okay, then I just close everything. So what exactly we did? First of all, into the template area, I have created one of the base HTML. Into the base HTML, I have created one of the blog. that means our block as a body block, right? So into the body block, and then in our base HTML I have loaded one of the navbar. You can see that is actually our navbar, and with the navbar area I have added only one of the menu, so that is our home menu. So that is our home menu is visible. Perfect. And then that is our blog, that means the body blog area. And if you go to our app blog, and that is our blog list.html, and into the blog list.html I extended our base HTML. So for the reasons, automatically it's actually getting our this navbar, right? So automatically it's getting that this navbar. And also I have updated the title, and in our body blog area I just put one of the name as a h1 tag. So now you can see it's now perfectly loaded our h1 tag, right? And then what exactly we did in our app block, into the app block URLs. So here I have created as a home URL, and also created another path as a blog. So if you want to access it, first of all it should be as app blog, and here I include our app blog URL, that means app blog, and that is our URL. And here you can see I make that this as empty. And here in our view I have created one of the function, that is our blog list. That means into the view area I have simply created one of the function as a blog list, and the return render our request. And then here I load our blog HTML, that means our blog list HTML. I just simply load it, right? So that should be visible like that way. You can see that is actually our blog. That means if you go to our home URL, into the home URL, here I have added as a blog. You can see after that blog, that is our home. So for the reasons in our view, that means into the view URL area I make that things as empty. For the reasons here you can see it's now loaded with our this URL as a blog, right? So here I just simply load it. And also in our home, that means in our home URL, into the home URL I want to load our this path. Okay, for the reasons in our index method, that means here that is our view, and into the index method area I just simply load our app blog and then our blog list. So with this HTTP response redirect, the reverse, here I just simply pass our URL, that means here app blog, and to the app blog URL I just put that app name as our app blog. So with this app blog I want to access our this method, that means this method I name it with our blog list. So now here I just simply added our this blog list, right? So now automatically you can see it's now redirected to our blog. When you want to access the home, automatically it's redirected to our blog page, and to the blog page here it's perfectly now loaded. So that is our blog list.html. So I am from blog, I am a blog list home page. So you can see it's now showing as I am blog list home page. So friend, I think you understand every point on particular that position. Okay, so how much easily I have already discussed about all that main core things. Okay, so now we are actually using it. It fundamental, I have already discussed that things with you. So right now it's successfully we did that work. Perfect. So in our next video I want to work with our sign up portion, that means the user sign up portion. So how can working with the default authentication system for the sign up. So I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.